Before we get into today's edition of the NFL Power Rankings from us here at Chat Sports, I want to see which fan base is repping the most in the comments. So shout out your favorite team right now. If you've watched any Power Rankings before here at Chat Sports, you know the drill. Worst to first, Chat Sports staff voting AP poll style, so we're combining the rankings together. Number 32, with really no unanimous things at all here, but Carolina is 32nd, as they don't look like a good football team in basically any facet of the game. Neither does the number 31 team, the Tennessee Titans, as they don't have it, and they're not talented enough. That Lions game was something. You're not going to win many games allowing 260-plus return yards. Just not going to happen. We have a rare tie this week as well. The New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders, both tied at 29th. The Patriots and the Raiders are not really contenders this year. Patriots pulled off a nice upset over the Jets. I'm not sure how much you can really glean from that. There's a lot of two-loss teams, a lot of disagreements in the rankings here, but New England and Las Vegas tied at 29. Call it the Josh McDaniels tied spot. Number 28, the New York Giants. They had a chance to beat Pittsburgh, and they once again were unable to deliver. Daniel Jones ices the game with just a really, really bad pick. There's just a severe lack of plays being made by the Giants quarterback, and I know our Giants Now host, Marshall Green, wholly agrees with this. He's not it. And it is a matter of when, not if, that organization is going to move on from Daniel Jones. And given his injury protection in his contract, I'd strongly consider doing that midseason. Now, there are many NFL teams that are a good answer to this question. The Giants, the Raiders really stand out to me. The Titans, Carolina, all do. What NFL team needs a new quarterback the most right now? Let me know at the pinned comment of today's video. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know what NFL team most desperately has to find a new signal caller. Number 27, the Jacksonville Jags. They just paid Trevor Lawrence. They're not going to be getting a new quarterback. This is just not a good enough football team, and the Doug Peterson era feels like it's winding down in the not-too-distant future. The Jets at number 26. They already fired their head coach, which everyone was like, that's a weird decision. And the results have been even worse, I'd argue, than the past two games. Also, they've lost like 3 games by the less amount than the points their kicker has left on the field. Greg Zuerlein's been terrible. And they're just like, this is fine. It's weird. Everything's weird about New York. By the way, you don't know who your GM's going to be next year. You don't know who your probably going to be Aaron Rodgers back at quarterback. You don't know who your head coach is going to be. You don't know if your owner's going to be around either, because that's going to be determined by the election. It's weird in New York. A lot of uncertainty there. Number 25, the Cleveland Browns. It is not an accident that the second they don't have to play Deshaun Watson, that suddenly everything around that team looks better. The offense looked way better. The defense seemed to believe a bit that they had a real chance to win that game all of a sudden. That's what happens when you move on from a quarterback that nobody believes in. The entire team ends up playing better. Now, it might be a short-term thing because they've moved on from some talent. They'll probably sell some more pieces, guys like Zadarius Smith, etc. But it's not an accident that ended up happening. And Jameis Winston in one game throws for more yards than Deshaun Watson did in any game in Cleveland. Go figure, right? Number 24, the Miami Dolphins. Tua comes back, and they can't even beat Kyler Murray when COD comes out, which is a really bad sign for Miami. Even when Kyler beats the accusations, he still gets thrown in his face, I guess. So sorry, Kyler. He actually played really well, by the way. About them later on. Miami's season is like, hey, is this going to be good enough as they move forward? I don't know. It's 2-5 is a bad spot to be. The New Orleans Saints began the year so great, undefeated season, 2-0. Loss along the way. They just don't look good right now. Seems like Dennis Allen's going to get fired too. The Dallas Cowboys are correctly the lowest rated 3-loss team or 3-win team. Because, yeah, they're only 3-4. Season's not over. Boy, it doesn't feel like they're 3-4. They feel like a 2-5 team, right? They feel like a team that isn't really contending. They got a tough schedule, by the way. Atlanta, Philly, Houston, and the Commanders. All teams significantly ahead of them in the power rankings. They'll be underdogs in probably most of those games. They got to start winning, or this season is going to go belly up real fast. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. You can get in on the action in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. And they also have the only injury insurance policy. If your lineups stay in play, if a player gets hurt, someone leaves in the first half, does not return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to get the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That even works if you're a sicko like me and you want to do some Texas State Prize Picks against Louisiana. I will be watching Tuesday night because, what else am I going to do? Football on. Of course I'm going to watch it. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Big time win for our number 21 team on Thursday Night Football. That is the Los Angeles Rams. A strong showing. They're healthy now, and the NFC West is wide open. The technical leader right now are the Arizona Cardinals, number 20 on our power rankings. They're a scrappy team. The defense is not good enough, but the offense is going to continue to show flashes. I think they're still a year away from really making some headway in terms of actual playoff threats and contentions. Number 19 is the Indianapolis Colts. And I've never seen a quarterback pull themselves because they were tired. Really? He ran a lot. I get it. Brother, you're the quarterback. You don't come off the field unless you are gravely injured. That is the only time you leave. And don't admit it. Just lie. I don't care. Just say you pulled your hamstring. Say your hamstring was tight. Don't get up there and say, I was tired. You don't get to be tired. You're the quarterback. The Anthony Richardson experiment, he needs reps, but it's been frustrating far too frequently for Indy. Number 18, the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, the offense is really good, especially when T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow are all healthy. Those 3 aren't consistently healthy. Looking at UT. That defense is bad. That defense is not a good unit at all. And I think that is going to be... The AFC's open, that 6th and 7th wildcard spot. Bengals basically get 2 more losses. That's kind of all they have to have a chance. That's not a good spot to be. Number 17, the Seattle Seahawks. A bit of an inconsistent, streaky team. My futures pick on them to make the playoffs is murky at best right now, to be quite honest. I like what Seattle offers a lot, but they're just not quite a fully realized version. They might just end up being a 500-ish team. So who wins the NFC West? Because everyone's in the mix still. S for the Seahawks, C for the Cardinals, 4 for the 49ers, R for the Rams. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Speaking of them 500 teams, that's kind of where we're at right now, with right around here. The Chargers are tied at number 15 with the Chicago Bears. The Bears should be 5-2. How do you allow that Hail Mary? And it's the best. I don't think Eberflus is the right guy in Chicago. So if you lose some more games like that and have to move on from him, maybe that's for the benefit. Shane Waldron, you're going to do a guard handoff to take the lead in the fourth quarter? What are we doing? That's just wild. The Chargers, by the way, are a good team, not a great team, but they're going to consistently be around 500, and they could be a sneaky playoff team this season. So, too, could the Denver Broncos. The defense is very good. And Bo Nix is not making mistakes, which is kind of the whole reason. Look at him. He'll move he'll use his legs. He'll be pretty accurate. He'll do more short stuff than downfield stuff, but he's not going to make backbreaking mistakes. Denver's fighting. I've been very impressed by Denver so far this campaign. Number 13, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they need another receiver. I'm a bit worried about them. With Mike Evans going to miss some time, Godwin done for the year. They now have the tiebreaker disadvantage against the Atlanta Falcons. That's a big deal, given the fact that there might only be one NFC South team that makes the postseason. Now, the Niners are 4-4. They're number 12 on our list. They're coming off of two ways to look at that Cowboys game. One, they allowed them to come back into it. The game, they're up by 17 in the fourth quarter. It wasn't that close. They only won one quarter. So you can look at it either way. I'm more inclined to go with the better team won because they move the ball more consistently. I think they're just a clearly better football team. They got to iron out some kinks, though, during the bye week. Number 11, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6-2. All they do is win. This is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are. They consistently find ways to win football games, even if it gets a little bit ugly at times. Like, still not sure how they lost to the Cowboys, by the way, and the Colts in back-to-back weeks. Like, that's kind of weird. But they beat the Falcons. They beat the Broncos in narrow games. They held on against the Giants. They're going to be above 500. And given their schedule with a really good game coming up after their bye against the Commanders, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals again. A lot of hard games to come, but all they got to do is win like 4 of them, and they make the playoffs. But, of course, Pittsburgh wants more than that. So are you buying Pittsburgh as a real, true, legitimate contender? Y for yes, N for no. Number 10, the Atlanta Falcons. I am a bit surprised that the voters picked the Falcons over the Steelers, but Atlanta, after a bit of a slow start to the year, the Falcons have played some really good football. They lose to the Steelers and Chiefs in the first 2 weeks. They've rattled off wins over the Saints, the Bucks, the Panthers, they also lost to the Seahawks, unfortunately, and then beat the Bucks. Overall, they've done a pretty good job. Number 9, the Philadelphia Eagles. So again, some weird voting with head-to-head stuff there. But Philly also looks better since that early season loss. Like, they're playing better, which I do think matters. That offense took a step forward against the Bengals. Now, the Bengals defense is bad, so maybe we don't overreact to it, but Philly can make the playoffs. Absolutely. Number 8, the Green Bay Packers. A lot of this kind of hinges on the health of Jordan Love. If he's going to be gimpy all season, that could impact their ceiling. But in a strong NFC North, they're definitely one of the likely playoff teams in the NFC. Number 7, the Washington Commanders, 6-2. The schedule's easy, but they're taking advantage of it. And that's what you're supposed to do as an NFL playoff caliber team. So I will give them credit for that. Were they lucky to win on the Hail Mary? Yes. But they won the game. That's what matters, right? Or number 7. Number 6, the Minnesota Vikings. That was a tough loss against the Rams. It continues the team that played the Lions loses the next week trend. I don't know how the refs missed that face mask call. They weren't going to win that game anyway, probably. But that was about as obvious as it gets. And don't tell me the refs didn't see it. There's refs staring at it. Use your eyesight, bud. We will have weekly NFL power rankings until we get into playoff picture time. So don't miss out. Hit that sub button right now. Number 5, the Baltimore Ravens at 5-3. They do this a couple times each year. They just blow games that they should win. They did it against the Raiders. They almost did it against the Cowboys. And they did it again against the Browns. They're almost a better team in the fourth quarter if they're losing or like it's a very close game and not a big lead. It's really weird how that keeps happening to them. Number 4, the Houston Texans. They've had a lot of very close wins, which I question the longevity, the sustainability of that. They've beaten some good teams in the process. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills at 6-2. It's a good football team, man. They can run the football now. Josh Allen actually threw a pick for once this year. This is the AFC's got a lot of top-end talent. Houston, Buffalo, definitely among them, which I might argue Texans should be above the Bills, but sometimes I get outvoted. Number 2, the Detroit Lions. This is kind of obvious, number 2. You know how hard it is to win a game with like 85 passing yards? The Lions blew them out. Blew out the Titans, dropping 50 doing that. Unreal. That might be the best roster in football. Number 1, the Chiefs. They can't keep getting away with this. Holmes has more interceptions and touchdown passes this year. Any other team, that's like they're 3-4. Nope, Casey's undefeated because they just keep winning games. Steve Spagnuolo's done a fantastic job on defense. That's who they are. The Chiefs are like, this is what's bothersome. You see it sometimes in the NBA, like the great, like they're kind of coasting a little bit in the regular season. They're going to turn it on in December. Mahomes is not playing well, and the Chiefs have not lost a game. What are you going to do come playoff time?